Hey, what's up guys? It's LeMar DeVente back with some more huge Beyblade Burst Turbo news, and honestly, we just need to get right into it. Wave 4 of Beyblade Burst Turbo has been found, and this is thanks to SakuraZeus. Huge thank you to him, and I'm going to link his channel down in the description below. So here's the fourth wave, including Turbo Achilles, Dread Phoenix, and Air Knight. Going over these individually, I'm starting with Turbo Achilles. So the layer is just going to be Turbo Achilles A4. The disc is listed as D66, which is probably just going to retain the name 00 or 00. And the driver is TB11-S, probably just Dimension Slingshot. This is pretty accurate in looks to the Cho-Z version, and I'll show all of those in comparison at the end of this video. The driver especially, well, performance tip for Hasbro, is so similar to, you can see that it's in the short mode, but then in the actual render on the box itself, it's in the slingshot mode, like the taller mode of the Cho-Z version. So impressive how they pulled it off, and it looks just like the original. One thing I'm wondering is it going to have the rubber sharp version? And I have the feeling that it may not, because that would be 3 modes that would need to be accounted for. And clearly they are actually going for a slingshot gimmick like they've done for the rest of the series. And also on the driver, I see a plastic gray latch there, probably to activate the gimmick. Now, something I noticed on the toy is, as you can see, it most likely kept the burst stopper gimmick. The yellow arrow is showing the spring, that is the spring-loaded pieces which pop out, which in turn allow for the little stopper to come out to stop the disc from moving, which is kind of shown in that pinkish purple circle. I'm so happy Hasbro retained the gimmick, and I'm kind of surprised, to be honest. Really good job by Hasbro. Even though there's no metal on this bay, quite obviously, it's great that they did keep this amazing gimmick. Now onto Air Knight K4, which is going to be the name of the energy layer itself. Now, something I want to mention is that they actually put a prefix in front of Knight, which is air. Typically, when Hasbro does this, that means we are getting an evolution to that later on. You can see that we had Z Achilles A4, and now we have Turbo Achilles A4, and we also know that Valtryek V4 is getting a second Valtryek V4, which is probably going to be Turbo Valtryek. Now, let's see if we do actually get a Gachi evolution of that. That would be quite cool. Going to the disc, we have DR67, which is 12 expand, and then the performance tip, which is TS15-S, known as Eternal Slingshot, which we got on Archer Hercules, or also known as Hercules H4. Now, the last Wave 4 starter we know of is Dread Phoenix P4, also the name of the layer. The disc is D57, known as 10, and the performance tip is TD13-S, known as Friction. Now, the last Wave 4 starter we know of is Dread Phoenix P4. That's the name of the layer. Now, the disc is D57, known as 10, and the performance tip is TD13-S, known as Friction Slingshot version. Now, this is a bay I really do want to talk about, because this is based off of Dead Phoenix from Cho-Z. The gimmick is that the Dead armor had more metal than the original Revive armor, but the new core was entirely plastic and had no metal, unlike the previous one from Revive Phoenix. Now, from what I'm seeing, it looks like the Dead armor could be plastic, and I'm hoping it's not, because it's been said by a Hasbro representative in the past, bays that use metal as the gimmick will retain metal in their turbo release. It's kind of hard to tell from both the photos in the box and the physical toy itself, and I'm really hoping it does retain that metal. Feeling a bit doubtful, but we can hope, because I'd rather this not retain only 50% of the original gimmick, and that is perfectly balanced, as all things should be, but it would be nice to receive another bay, just like Excalibur X4, which has metal. Now, one last thing to mention is that it comes with 10 in Friction, which is the combo of Revive Phoenix, but in the show, that's actually what Dead Phoenix uses as well. Cho-Z originally released Dead Phoenix with Zero and Atomic, so I guess we just got the anime accurate combo, which is actually fine by me, and that's pretty fine, and I'm happy that they did it. Now, to compare Cho-Z with Hasbro, on the left is Cho-Z, on the right is Hasbro. They look very similar. Of course, the decals on the Hasbro one on the right don't have the black. That would probably take a lot of ink and everything, all the material that they've been using for these decals. But I do think that it does look very good. They look similar, and I can tell that the color already for the Hasbro ones just pretty much on point with the Cho-Z one. They use a kind of like a sparkly gray plastic. instead of the metal for the interior. And I like that they did that instead of the chrome painting, which does look fine for the most part, but I think this was a really good option. Now it is Dead Phoenix and Dread Phoenix. On the left is Takara, on the right is Hasbro. Again, I am wondering if Dread Phoenix has metal. I'm hoping it does. Overall, the paint job is the same. It looks really good, and I gotta say, this is one of the most on-point ones. Then again, it's also pretty simplistic, though it does look really good in comparison. And the final comparison is Achilles. On the left, it's the Cho-Z version, and on the right is the Turbo version. Paint jobs are pretty similar. It's missing some of the decals on like the forehead area of Achilles' beast, and then also on the defensive wings on either or end from top bottom. Now, also, it does not have the same sort of slot going on down the center to divide plastic and metal, because again, it is all plastic for the swords, no metal included. It does retain the burst stoppers though, and that's something I'm actually really excited about, and I'm glad that Hasbro did that. Everything else is pretty much the same. Maybe it is a bit of a darker plastic from the looks of it, but overall, it's pretty much the same bay, and it even retained the gimmick. Now to give my thoughts on it. This wave has a bunch of fan favorites. I gotta say, I love all of them. And I actually don't own Turbo because I have not been a fan of how it's been handled, but these are actually bays I'm going to pick up. All three of them. When I see them, I will actually buy these. One thing I want to mention about this wave is breaking the order from the Japanese releases. Typically, they go in order of what was released in Japan chronologically, but Dead Phoenix and Air Knight were released after Cho-Z Spriggan and Dead Hades, meaning we should have gotten Turbo Spryzen and Dread Hades before Dread Phoenix and Air Knight. Maybe they're going to come out in the next wave, and they should really, but no idea what's going on here with how Hasbro has picked it. Anyways, that's all for this Beyblade video. I know I haven't been doing a lot of Beyblade content, but I do hope to get back into it soon, hoping to get more releases. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, leave a like. If you want to be updated on my Beyblade and Bakugan content, hit the subscribe button down below. Thank you so much for watching, and remember to blade on!